Yep, so we are live now. I'll just give a
Yeah,
brief introduction and then I'll pass on the floor to you. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Um, Sorry we got a few minutes delayed. So welcome to the community webinar organized by Foundership. To those who do not know about Foundership, Foundership is a Web3 accelerator providing incubation to Web3 startups through its flagship acceleration program called 0x Camp. To know more, kindly visit our website at foundershiphq.com. Yeah, getting on. Tokens and tokenization within the Web3 realm is an exhilarating odyssey through the digital landscapes of decentralized finance, blockchain powered assets, and the boundless possibilities of tokenization. In this captivating exploration, we traverse the diverse and dynamic global tapestry of tokens, each representing a unique asset or utility, and uncover how these digital currencies are reshaping economies, industries, and the very concept of ownership. Today, we are joined by Yuvraj, CEO and founder of Creativerse, a Web3 builder stack. His expertise in tokens is very well known in the Web3 industry, and we are excited to have him provide insights to our community through our monthly webinar series. Over to you, Yuvraj.
thank you, Vardit. Thanks for the opportunity given to Creatorverse to present what we uh, deliver to the world of Web3, especially on digital assets and tokenization. So, how do I know the attendees? Are they on the chat window, Vardit? Can I look at them?
Yep, so we have a live chat going on, and in case
Okay.
they'll ever put in any chat, I'll let you know. That the questions will be taken towards the end of the session, and in case you'd like to pause the session in the middle, I'll let you know what kind of questions we already have, and then we can get through that as well.
Okay, so I welcome the participants from the foundership community, and so there are a few people, and there may be people who would be watching this video. So let me introduce myself and my company. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so when my screen is there, my video is gone. Anyway, Vadit, I hope the screen is visible to the audience.
Yes, Shivraj, the screen is visible, and I think your video is as well, so no need to worry.
No need to worry. Okay. So quickly about myself, I'm Yuvraj Tanikachalam in this domain of financial services, doing tech for financial services for more than 2 decades now. I don't really differentiate these umbrella terms, uh, DeFi, CFI, TradeFi, ReFi. So there are many acronyms that being used today just for just segmentation. Uh, but I look at this entire as part of the financial services industry, especially global financial services industry. Been there, worked with a large multinational bank and financial services, especially spent a lot of time with investment banking, capital markets, wealth management, private wealth management companies, estate management companies, doing their tech for them. So, with this understanding, 7 years ago, around 2016, late 2016, we got introduced to this technology, completely fascinated, and became an early adopter and started building. So, building is our characteristics more than using, getting our hands dirty and trying to build something and experiencing. That was a curiosity with which I entered, especially started writing white papers, started writing contracts, and the journey was fantastic so far. And 2019, late 2019 and 2020 early, this idea of creatorverse bloomed, I would say. And the reason for creatorverse coming into picture or coming into the market was we found the new ventures being launched by many startup founders. They are exciting. They were fully excited to be part of this movement. But when it comes to building a venture out of an idea, translating an idea into a fully working functional venture, which can return value to the investors and stakeholders, they had a big struggle, especially the capital risk. Initial bootstrap capital was very expensive because it might come from the founders. They did not had a stack. We all know about India stack. We know about many tech stacks today. 2019 and 20, people were actually building because protocols were evolving based on the protocol ecosystem adoption and growth. The tools were coming into picture. So they were saying that we need a reliable tool or a tech stack infrastructure so that what we build can be demonstrated and can be also fit for a production use. That was the reason. And our sweet spot, coming from a financial industry background and doing tech for them for many years, we thought we should build a tool set and tech stacks for decentralized finance, and especially for people who want to adopt or transform their existing landscape into a decentralized finance. That was the motive. That was like a the boost with the energy, and we created Creatorverse, and the name says that all the builders are creators, all the entrepreneurs are creators. It's a world of creators. Uh, for just a narrative purpose, many people ask what you really do. There is so much happening in this world. What are you really doing it? We want to build a low failure rate, a kind of a infra. So real world assets can be tokenized, and token lifecycle management, trade lifecycle management events are handled with peace of mind by the owners of those assets. That was the reason behind. And whatever technology, Web3 technologies, be it edge computing, cloud first, edge computing, if we can apply artificial intelligence, we apply. Not just blockchain, we want to make use of everything that is coming together as a technology today to build this. Huh. More than people who have come to this webinar, you would be not interested to know about company. That I all I'm mindful about it. But more than talking about my company, what I want to really tell out is what is the problem statement. Okay, what problems are faced by companies in the financial services domain who have got excited saying that we will also do something there, but they were not taking any next steps. I met a lot of my friends from, I'll not name all the banks. I have friends in almost all kinds of multinational banks with universal bank license and so. So when I went to them and said, spoke to their CIOs, spoke to the CTOs, why are you not taking your next step beyond a POC? So some reasons that they gave was, oh, our technology infrastructure or landscape today is not ready for what your protocols are talking about. We can't integrate and make it seamlessly to work. Okay, that was your problem. There is no standardization and interoperability. Ethereum is talking something, Hyperledger is talking something, and rest of the protocol world is talking something. We don't see everybody common like the C3 charger, right? There is not at standardization in the market. Literally, they are talking about commoditization. The technology is not yet commoditized, so we can't use it because the typical mentality or mental model of large bank and CIOs is they don't want to take the risk from their side. They want to use tested, proven, market tested and proven products. So that was the reason for telling the standardization and interoperability is not there. And cybersecurity and fraud, obvious reasons. So people, good actors, bad actors, they all thought this is the time to make money. And bad actors, they've applied their mind and started cracking, hacking when the things were evolving, which made a lot of people wary about getting and being labeled as a person who is greedy, or being labeled lose their shirt in the process of getting some early advantage. So cybersecurity frauds was a reason. There was enough media news, anti tech news about why companies have to take it slow, including large consulting, big four consulting firms. In 2019-20, they were saying that take it slow, be it slow, don't hurry, don't be in haste, and you will lose your value. Then obvious reason was like, though I have myself has shared my knowledge with, I would definitely call thousands of people through various forums, the knowledge was only at a superficial level. Everybody knows what is knowing, and doing is very different. So they know, but they can't apply and do it something. When they tried to do it, there were issues in getting it done in a right way, and the cost of talent to even try and fail was too high for companies. $10,000 POCs for $25,000 POC is okay, but $300,000, $100,000 is not a money that anybody can get a budget for. So it's not for only talent. The whole building exercise was hugely cumbersome. That was another issues. I'm sure some would resonate what I'm talking. Some might be still saying that these are old problem statement. I would say still we are there in it, and some of them have got moved on and built something. Polygon, Solana, layer 2, many things have really broken the did a breakthrough in bringing technology faster, but a long way to do. Limited support, especially for the transition. If a company says that I have to change my operating model, I have to change my business model, it's not an easy game. Change management is a very tough stuff to take up. Some of the change management projects in large banks or financial companies runs for multiple years. They don't start in a year and end in a year. 5-year program they will run. That was the culture, compliance culture. They don't want to just hurry and break things. That was a startup culture. We are a startup entrepreneurs. We want to hurry, break things. We are okay with it. But established companies do not want to break things. They want to take it slow and do it in a way, right way, that they are not incurring any kind of a damages to the reputation, infrastructure, stability, availability, and all the stuff. High development and maintenance costs. Post development, what will happen? Okay, there is a CISO, security officer, compliance officer, who have to ensure that the infrastructure is always secure and it's available, and there is no big maintenance cost, because we all know, right? Indian service industry, nearly 50% of the projects are maintenance projects, because you have to keep it running. So, what would be the maintenance cost? What is the transaction per transaction cost? What is the trade cost? So, they have to be really calculative about total cost of ownership when they're building stuff and owning it. Whether it's going to be a part of the balance sheet or an or capex or opex, so many questions were there. And I've been in this domain advising how to really understand total ownership and how to go about investing in this. These are the collective problems we have looked at and say we can solve it. Okay, and the confidence comes from knowing it and doing it firsthand. So the perspectives that we bring to the market when compared to all other players in the market is digital assets around the globe. Today, we are going to go around the globe and see what countries are being doing and what's happening in those countries. Who are those people doing what? Everybody knows that there is a total addressable market. The addressable market is going to be very huge. Opportunity itself is exciting. That's not the reason for us. Problem is challenging and it excites us. Given said that Boston Consulting Group made this scope saying that there is a $16 trillion market by 2030 will be available for people to really operate, and 10% of global GDP by then would be on digital assets. So, which was really fascinating, wonderful, exciting, excellent thing to for an entrepreneur to come into and play the game. That's why not just in Bangalore, right? My foundership community, when I met in their first year of completion, first anniversary, they built a huge community and so much of excitement around the world to be part of it and what they all really want to do with their tech skills and functional capabilities. So there's a huge opportunity there. The opportunity and talking about opportunity continuously doesn't take us anywhere. So, how to navigate the regulatory framework? So, we have spent time with tax consultants, legal consultants, tax and legal consultants, strategic business model, financial model experts, uh, to work with our clients on token economy. Yeah, the opportunity is there, but we can't eat the on us, all the cake by ourselves. How this will evolve, how this will play when regulators are catching up, how are they going to bring everything in an order? So that competency was we have created through a product partner ecosystem and institutional adoption. As we have this DNA of working for enterprises, large enterprises, we always see that there is a large institutional adoption. When they take, how are they going to take it? They are not, as I said earlier, they are not going to do anything in the haste. There are companies, they have partners with large technology product companies. They have been in them with them, like IBM, for example. I'm just, they are known for everybody. Microsoft, Google. Google may not be known as an enterprise, but they also an enterprise company. So they are going to first ask their trusted partners to tell them what is right for them. But they are not at giving that necessary solution. Today, every large enterprise player, we had an opportunity to even interact with SAP and understand how SAP thinks about decentralized ledgers or distributed ledgers. So, institutional adoption, there should be a player just focusing. There are so many now, but that's what a point that we need to be looking at. And the trust, inversion of trust, we all know. I was a person who was on the floor when the Lehman Brothers crash was happening, and we were actually processing trades. The systems that we were using to process millions of equity trades, it was nightmare because of the commotion in the market. 2008 crisis I'm talking about. So after that, the trust on the Wall Street, trust on the banks, the social contract between the banks and the society, they were all started questioning. So there is a still an inversion of trust, and central banks are trying to bring and retain the trust in the system by bringing the frameworks and putting the order in the place, cleaning the house, keeping the house clean and keeping it in order. Everything possible, all the regulators are trying, but the new generation knows that their once trust is lost is lost. Okay, the systems are to be rethought completely, reimagined and redefined completely. That's where the world is now moving, and we also believe that it's good time now. We should really think from scratch how this financial world should work. So the inversion of trust, instead of just fueling the inversion of trust, how can the trust can be decentralized trust? So that area is what we bring in and say that it can be done in a way that by means of collaboration, by means of co-creation. So when it comes to the digital asset life cycle, everybody knows there is thousands of tokens on coin marketplace, not just hundreds, it's thousands. Maybe it would have already crossed 100,000, who knows. But 1200 minimum, you can go and just count it if you can count it, and 100 comes on the page one. It's too much overwhelming for anyone to keep a track. But all these have different sub segments, subsectors, saying that no, we are only doing this. We have a utility. Our utility is different from the others' utility. It's just a innovation game. Everybody wants a pie of the cake. But there is something when a regulator is going to come and say that there is always some, when we talk about commodities, commoditization of technology, there is going to be a standard saying that everybody follow the same route so it can be reported. For example, so we all are now paying 1% TDS for our transactions on any exchange that we buy and sell crypto. There is some kind of standard given to all the exchanges operating in India. This is how you have to report your transactions through 26 AS. So then there is a system required for everybody in the player in the market to incorporate that as per the compliance and regulator. For the kind purpose, I was part of building regulatory reporting systems for banks. So I know how this things has to be done. So, having said all this, let me take a pause and look at the chat, see if there are any questions that I can take up before I keep on going forward. So, I will, for a moment, I will just going to go back to the chat. Uh, StreamYard. Is there any questions you can ask before we move on into a deeper discussions? Comments, I see some comments. Maybe no questions. Then let me continue. Slideshow. So far it is why we have been there and why the golden circle that we were talking about. Now, why you guys are here, what you want to take away from. So we are going to specifically talk about the how this digital asset, the segment within the whole staff, especially the real world asset backed tokens, are organized today. This is a report, July 2023 report of digital research. For explanation, for easier explanation and simplification, I'm using this to talk. So, broadly classified as two things: centralized finance, which is centralized organization that offer tokenization services. That's one category broadly. The other one is crypto native, DeFi native, decentralized finance protocol that integrate the real world assets with on-chain market participants, because people have already joined the protocol and they are on the chain. They have their wallets and assets connected to the wallets. Now they want to involve in the real world assets. So this is coming to the same point from two different directions, but based on in which direction they are coming, the company is defined that way. What are the takeaways? What are the so we are going to touch about many things, but what this report really talks, we have written a blog on this. There are companies across the world. That's what going around the world is. Switzerland, United Kingdom, from east to west, west to east. We can take it from Singapore to United States, or United States to Hong Kong and Singapore. Companies have already started operating, and hugely heavily funded companies are trying to disrupt the market. And they are major registrations were in United States and Switzerland. Some of them are from United Kingdom and Luxembourg. They all initially thought, they were companies like Harbor, Tokenize, Securitize. These companies thought that, okay, we should not go and use a public protocol. Let's build our own ledger and our own network and offer, saying that we are not really exposing things which not supposed to be exposed. and they thought when things are going on a blockchain, everybody can read, and though it's a pseudo anonymous, people can find out what's going on with respect to privacy of the trade or privacy of the information. So people went into the direction of creating their own networks, ledger networks. But still, they were half of them were saying that it's better to be doing things on public. When you guys Google it or ask the AI language models about Forbes 50/50, billion-dollar blue chip companies, they were always in the initial days talking to their own ID providers for a private blockchain experiments more than public blockchain experiment. They have diversified their investments, saying that let me do two projects on public, two projects on private, two on some combination of multi-chain, and see which will work for us. This was 2017, 18, 19 times I'm talking about. Now things they have realized there is no need for a debate too much about Ethereum. Ethereum has become a kind of a default first go-to, but the versions L2 have solved the scalability performance issues. So people are going for L2 first kind of a approach. There is companies in this list. 45 to 60 companies got taken for a research. Many are having their own. They also started creating their own tokenized marketplaces. Some of them went in the direction of fractionalizing the assets they are tokenizing. I'm going to show some charts. Just hang on with me. How they are categorized. Instead of looking at a large block of text, maybe whatever I'm talking about is the gist of it. So, if we look at this centralized finance, the person who is coming from the left to right, who is already in the centralized finance, now they are giving tokenization tokenized assets. So 2017, you will see companies, they are from 2015 also, they came into the game, and they've got like a venture capital support to continue it. Some of them may not be there, pivoted, changed, but looking at the header of it, you know which jurisdiction, where the early adopters, because of the clarity. So when we are talking about going around the world, United States, Singapore, Switzerland, United Kingdom, they were the main companies coming on the top list. Going back to the next, uh, so decentralized finance protocol, how they look, what is the landscape of them look like? Let's go and check. So they were native, right? They were like blockchain native guys. So they just go and chosen a sector to disrupt. They were also from different jurisdictions like United States, Switzerland, all the developed markets. There is a pattern to read them. They are well developed capital marketplaces, or or some of them had a kind of a regulatory clarity to do it. Those are the places which kicked off or taken off in the beginning. And Ethereum became the most common. 22 is a big number out of 33 people. As I said, for more than 50%, they chose that. Some of those names I've listed here: Centrifuge, Maple, Goldfinch, Keep Clear Pool. There is whole lot of big list again, but we have a kind of a studied nearly 15 out of them. When we work with companies today, we really know how the differentiation between these companies are helping the users of the platform to generate or like leverage the value. Having said all these things, what is the what big thing about it? Why we should know all this? Why are we first of all talking about all this? So there is a need of the hour or a requirement today. If the people who are listening to this conversation or listening to the webinar, watching this webinar, might be wondering what's in it for me, why I should be paying attention, be being on any career path, because there is a huge transition, there is an undercurrent, and there is already activities going on. And I know my own very good close professional friends, they still don't believe that this is happening. They come and saying that there is like a negligible amount of people who are just making noise on the social media, uh, thinking that they will become a quick rich people or a billionaires or millionaires. They don't We don't really see, even just a month ago or few months ago also, there were people who were completely want to shut themselves from the technology disruption that was going on. They were saying that when it comes, it might come after 5 years. After 5 years, we will all talk. By then, they would have already lost their market share and got disrupted. It's not about the belief or optimistic way of looking at, but what are the reason for this kind of a conviction that we have, which we also communicate to the people through these community forums is, let's look at country by country. So Swiss as a early thing, Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority. First, they thought, oh, people are crazy, and who have a gambling mindset. They are going to, instead of going to casino, they are going to exchanges, crypto exchanges, and trying to gamble there. But they realized, okay, people might lose money, and so there should be some kind of a methodology to understand who is doing what. So Swiss Civil Code has started defining what is cryptocurrencies, what the representation means. They can use it as a, so everybody said, including our Indian. I'm sure a lot of people have joined, nobody from other countries. So our central bank wants to be the sovereign authority of issuing any currencies. Nobody should call currencies. So they classified as a public and private currencies. So nobody should say that is a legal tender or a currency. They can use any other terminology. So that's how the FINMA also 2022 I have taken, but they have started in 2017 itself. I've met some of good friends who have traveled all the way from Swiss to India's embassy and trade commerce teams have organized, talking about the Zug and crypto value very long ago, and how they really want to be the early movers in this. Some examples in Swiss market, Brickmark, Finca, they went and farmland, agricultural assets, financial assets, fractional ownership. They all started exploring it. Then we are going to move from Swiss to the next region, European Union bloc of 30 plus countries, and they have been in news because of the 2023 passing markets in crypto assets regulation. So people who were sleeping, regulators always say that, okay, it's not harming the larger part of the society, or it's not impacting positively or negatively the larger part of the society. So I'm not bothered. When they see it has a huge implications, when prime ministers, financial ministers, central bankers are all waken or being shaken by the kind of 2 trillion ecosystem on internet, web 3.0, they said it cannot be ignored anymore. So this 2020 itself, there was a European Union started working on it in 2023. They came up with a kind of a law that they passed, and they said that we will categorize it as a asset reference token, which is asset backed token, e-money tokens, utility tokens. So there is a clearly, when a company wants to come and say that I want to be in business in any one of these categories, they are allowed and also watched. according to that. So, which means there's a huge positive move. We have taken the Swiss and the European Union, two countries. Maybe some of the learnings of Swiss has got implemented in the MICA also. Some of the tax havens, island nations like Malta, they have created a Virtual Financial Assets Act in 2018, and they have been appreciated for their forward-looking or a very progressive thought process of how virtual financial assets, because some of these small lands, right, for them banking and tourism are the biggest sectors or industry in itself. So they have created a licensing mechanism, class 1 license, class 2 license, how the businesses can work out of those. I remember many phantom tokens, many companies which launched their token, they used to go and register themselves in Malta. Next comes, we are going from Malta to now United Kingdom, which is not anymore part of European Union. So, FCA, Financial Conduct Authority, uh, they said that, okay, don't fight with the security market. Security market is a well developed market. But if you are trying to do something in a digital format of the same, let's give some kind of a framework. Today, the new Prime Minister, Mr. Rishi Sunak, he is giving kind of a signals to the market saying that we do not want to lose the competitiveness of our market and business environment for the world to trade with us. Therefore, they are not saying that completely no, but at the same time, they want to create a framework for the good players to really create value for everybody in the society. So they have the Law Tech UK task force have helped the government and worked on this regulation, and they are working on. United Arab Emirates, who says they don't know now, world hub or a hub of all the Web3 companies today. There was a report that we saw in a year 2021, 2 lakh companies got registered in the free zones. They have 20 plus free zones, and 2 lakh and above, which is close to 2 lakh 20,000 companies got registered across entrepreneurs from across the world, because of they want to do everything from with a fresh mindset and fresh thinking. So UAE's strategy for becoming from an oil economy to a digital economy, and many factors that they want to consider to put the country nation in the top spot. Some of those things that they've done is fantastic. The VASP, when we work with our clients, we also check these documents, how their versions are getting upgraded. These UAE documents gets upgraded or updated very often. They evolve very often because there is a focus and attention given by the government. VARA, the Dubai Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, from Trade Center DWTC in 2022, they have said our mission is to provide a leading regulatory framework to protect investors, consumer protection, investor protections, risk management. These are the terms why it's being used. You might be wondering what is how to read behind the between the lines or behind the things. It's not anymore can be banned. So our prime minister also in the recent G20 some meeting, I heard him saying that it cannot be. It's not a technology that you can just switch off. So there is definitely a global framework is required, and they want to be the leaders in that. So United, so 5 countries or 4 countries we have seen. Singapore, so Singapore, Hong Kong, Luxembourg, Zook, and UAE are trade commerce hubs. So they have taken their steps. When it comes to Singapore, Monetary Authority of Singapore very proactive with respect to technology, because a lot of data centers or banks always choose Singapore as their first destination to operate. Very friendly taxation and many reasons for that. So they have introduced a digital payment token. Today, people can make USDC and USDD payments very easily and transact in Singapore. But at the same time, when it comes to cross-border remittance, programmable money, tokenized assets, there are license for very legitimate people who are having a good credentials. They do get and they run businesses. We work with alternate investment fund company which has a license to tokenize bonds, corporate bonds and treasury bonds, like Ondo Finance. Coming to the large democracy, large or democratic country, United States, for all the good and bad reasons, they make the huge news media for because of their very aggressive stand from SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and many people cry foul, saying that there were cases running, and XRP. We all know that whoever is watching news, they know, and who are following it. XRP won it, and they also told innovation should not be stopped by people who really do not know the technology, what implications for the society in positive and negative way. So CFTC, SEC, and FinCEN are three major organizations. They are trying to come together and work on a common framework because of the reasons move against the companies which initially majority of companies were started in US. Many companies from US have already trans teleported themselves to companies countries like UAE. But the developed market, when it comes to developed capital market, US is a big developed capital markets. The laws are always the implementation of laws are fantastic. So if that market opens, it's a huge market. We are talking India as a $5 trillion country or a market, GDP. So they are already a big market for the world. Almost all the East does business with the West, and the major buyer of technology doing a lot of stuff is US. So the world is looking forward how US plays this game of regulation. At the same time, they ensure that dollar domination is not lost. So it's a very tricky game which is going on. I'm not getting into the de-dollarization or a dollarization, but United States is an important market for everyone to watch. Be a builder, be a trader, investor, in whatever point of view we are looking at the market. So we have seen some 6, 7 countries which are very, very important for anyone to consider how to go about. And our conclusion, what are we going to conclude with this webinar as a key takeaways for listeners is don't shy away. Uh, be part of that with a clarity of thinking, and also let's not get at a very superficial level saying that I want to make a career, so I'm just learning this tech. Or you can't, like how AI today, the large language model or a usage of AI has become a mainstream. This as a technology, as a internet 3.0, especially of economics and finance, this is going to eat the world. So we are very proud about our UPI, great innovation from our country. Similarly, we have a great potential to innovate much more than UPIs. So my friends from Global FinTech Summit today, they were posting about the good things the CBDC team, India CBDC team has done by connecting UPI and CBDC. Lot of things can be done. A lot of ease of use is going to happen to the whole society. We are not taking any side saying that this is right or wrong. The neutral point of view for every innovator, every builder, every creator should be how we can use this technology for good, human good, society good, so that the entire global financial market can be reimagined as as a system that brings the world together and eliminates the I'm not going to use any economic inequality and make it more inclusive in nature so everybody have access to the prosperity the world already has. So this is with this message, I'm again thanking the foundership community for the opportunity to talk to you guys today. Thank you. Open to questions and happy to answer any question.
Quite interesting and insightful, Yuvraj. Thank you so much. A fascinating presentation, and thank you for your unwavering support in imparting this kind of knowledge to our community. I'm sure they'll have much to learn from this kind of session. And seeing no queries or clarification on the chat, I had a few questions of my own, and I'll just take a short while from you as well. So coming back to tokenization and tokens, would it be possible to tell us how tokenization is transforming traditional assets such as real estate, art, and even intellectual property into digital tokens, and what benefits does this bring to asset owners and investors?
Yeah, real estate is the largest out of the all the illiquid assets. Why people call real estate as a illiquid asset is it cannot be as when you want to really leverage that you can't leverage it. It be either a buyer market or a seller market, and there are a lot of intermediaries in that chain. So, as I was talking about the digital asset research paper, majority of companies today are in the tokenization of real estate, especially in US. We have spoken to companies in Texas, New York, Wyoming, even some African countries. They were India also. In India, we have at least to my knowledge, I can count. I know more than 10 companies who are working on this space, and I know their founders also. So when there is a electronic money, digital money is not too far away from the electronic money. Similarly, when we have already computerized the transactions of real estate, and we can identify properties by the geoposition locations of the land parcel. So fractionalizing that or keeping the real estate property being a vacant land or a built property, it's very logical next steps. So read formats today are already getting kind of a mainstream. Though in India it came very after a long time, but in US it was there for quite some time. Now, market regulator like SEBI, sooner or later, they would definitely, after the self regulation is happening, market regulation will come, authorities will give. I'm very hopeful saying that real estate will be the first asset that will become a RWA tokenization compared to other ones. And
Got
how
it.
it happens, it's not just geoposition technology I'm talking about. It's because of the computerization and electronic formats already available there. It's conducive.
Understood. And could you please shed some light on how Web3 tokens can enable global accessibility to financial and digital assets?
Okay. When we are talking about financial instruments or financial assets, we know about securities, which is like stock of companies, bonds, debt instruments, um, derivatives, derivatives of equity or derivatives of debt instruments. Then comes the commodities, soft commodities, hard commodities, and there are synthetics and exotic instruments are created by combination of these financial instruments to really bring the risk and reward ratios differently. That's how the investment banking world works. Based on the risk appetite of an investor group, today institutional adoption. The Goldman Sachs research report, initially they used to advise their clients to have 1 to 2% of exposure to digital assets. The massive adoption today, it already crossed like 50% of institutions in the world are invested in the digital assets. How they are getting access? Your question was more to related to access. The platforms that we are building, companies like startups like us, we are building. In our case, we are building, we are tokenizing a corporate debt instrument. We are tokenizing the fixed income assets. So when I say we, our company has already done this projects of tokenizing fixed income assets, alternate investments, and corporate bonds, and we are making them live, and some of them are already live. So therefore, through those platforms, be it Maple Finance, Honda Finance, Backed Finance, there is a Clearpool, Centrifuge, Accrue.finance. These companies are the platforms, doorways to access those assets for retail. Institutions are already having access. Accredited investors are already having their holdings on them.
Got it. And since you're talking about investment opportunities, according to you, what are the risks and rewards that are linked with investment opportunities in Web3 tokens?
Okay, so nothing comes without a risk. If somebody says everything is rosy, everything is good, you will not lose anything, then it's a false statement. So all
Yeah.
risks, all investments are subject to market risks. Mutual fund sahi hai. Similarly, all investments are subject to market risk. Market risk is different from frauds and other kind of risks.
Yeah.
There are insurances available today. If you are a holding, if you have a holding of digital assets, there are companies giving insurance. And given to the market volatility, which is driven by the macro news, is something different from the nature of the asset itself. So when we look at the trading since 2016, take the trading view and look at the graph, uh, compared to the any financial market ups and downs, regulated markets, you will see a kind of a stability, the volatility going down over a period of time. Being a new asset class in itself, as everybody says, it's not I'm echoing somebody's statement. A thorough stock market analyst, a capital market analyst can say the sideway movement says the kind of a stable thing. It's not falling because there is a backed assets. There are people who are backing it and ready to hold for a very long term. Only institutions can hold for a very long term as a hedge against the inflations. So the asset class have already proven that it's a hedge against inflation, and it can store value and also appreciate value, move value, and be like a very fast value transfer capabilities that it has. Because of these reasons, it'll stabilize. So when it stabilizes, 10%, 20% up and down will become 5% less than that. That's where the already the world has adopted it.
Got it. Perfect. So I guess that's about it for the questions and answers. I have my queries cleared. Since no one has asked any kind of questions on the chat, I think we can wrap up with this session. A very insightful session provided by you with a holistical deck provided with filled with insights, so that people, in case they even missed out the session happening live, they can get back to watching this video and catch it as a recorded video on YouTube as well. I've also provided your LinkedIn in case anyone has queries regarding this particular topic and they'd like to connect with you.
Thank you.
That wraps it up. Any kind of ending points which you'd like to make? I'll be happy to let you.
So I thank the community, and I always wish we have many more things to do to do for the community, and we will see some other time on a different topic, uh, meeting the block meet or a community meetup. Thanks. Good night to everyone.
Indeed. Good night, and we're looking forward to having you as well.
Thank you.